Everybody have fun out there? It was a good time. What an atmosphere, man. It never gets old going into Lambeau, and, just the environment, the energy the fans brought. I think, for some of our new guys, like a guy like X or Josh Jacobs, and obviously all the rookies, I don't think these guys have experienced something like this. So I think it was definitely a special night for them.
You signing the kid, caught the punts?
That was pretty impressive. I mean, 3? I know I couldn't do that. So, yeah, that was a good moment. I'm sure that he'll remember that for the rest of his life.
Hey, Matt, I know you coached the whole football team, not just the offense. But when you look at kind of what the defense was able to do and what the offense, especially the ones were not able to do, how do you kind of balance that?
There's always a good and bad to it, Certainly, I thought there was some. First of all, it was a very vanilla playbook, I would say, on both sides. So we're just wanting our guys to go out there and play fast, compete, show what they can do. But it'll be similar probably to how we approach the preseason. You don't want to show too much, especially since Waller's got it live streamed all over the world, which is a good thing. But I'm sure people will look at it.
Is Christian okay after that kind of
Yeah,
collision?
he's okay. He went back in there in the 2-minute, but a scary moment, certainly. And just got to continue to try to educate these guys. I don't think it was malicious by any intent. Evan Williams going to try to make a play on the ball. And those are the ones you worry about, just those bang-bang plays down the field. And I just told him to try to lay off in that situation if you can.
So that's what you want? Because it looked from upstairs, it kind of looked like he was in a tough spot where he is trying to make a play on the ball. You just want to go.
Yeah, if we never want to put, I mean, for both players' safety, quite frankly, but it's hard when you're out there competing. These guys are so fast and physical, and plays happen quickly. So it's football too. It's part of it.
Yeah, Bullard as well, like in some practices. I mean, don't want to hold them back, right? I mean, what do you tell them?
Yeah, it's one of those fine lines. But if we ever feel and you can recognize in a split second that somebody's in a tough situation, like I said, it's really both guys that get put at risk. It's the defensive back and the receiver. But things happen. You just, you hope our quarterbacks don't make those types of decisions in that situation.
How do you judge your offense when the D-line has been in there in the backfield? So, Rashawn in that one series, he was in there 3 plays in a row.
Yeah, it's tough on the O-line right now. And certainly I think if, these guys, the D-line gets frustrated at times because in practice we'll use a lot of chippers. And I'm like, hey, man, that's a credit to you guys. That's the ultimate compliment that we feel like we need to get 4 hands on you to block you. So, and I quite frankly, it's going to happen during the season. I think our D-line is solid, and hopefully they continue to get better and improve and just keep coming off the ball the way they are.
Matt, will Zach, Tom be ready to do team when you guys get back at it next week?
That is the plan. So he's looked great. Hopefully we'll get Tucker back in some capacity next week as well. But we'll see how it goes.
What did you think of the young guys? It looked like it was strictly kind of your younger players going live for that one short period. How did you think they did?
Yeah, I thought there was some good stuff out there. I got to go back and take a look at it, but certainly, Ellis had a couple nice runs, and the offense was able to move the ball, get in field goal range, and I just wanted them to have another crack at it. So we reset to 1st and goal on the 8. But no, I enjoyed watching those guys compete, and I thought it was a successful period, being that these guys got to experience going to the ground, and yet we came out clean. Nobody got hurt.
How did you decide who took part in the Tom Silverstein period there?
Yeah, that was all for you, Tom. Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy it? Yeah. Well, if somebody ever goes down, and who's going to be held accountable for that, Tom? So, but we talked about it as a staff. Certain guys we definitely wanted to see in that capacity, and other guys we know are going to be here shortly, getting a bulk of that time in the preseason. So,
Matt, are you anticipating this kicking competition going all the way through the end of the preseason?
I would anticipate that, but things change.
You know, think of those guys so far.
I thought they both had a pretty good night. Obviously, you'd like them to make the ones at the end of the the last two kicks, but I think other than that, I think Greg missed one 50-some yarder or whatever. So I thought all in all, they did a pretty nice job.
A few more, please.
You know, at this time last year in camp, you were really force-feeding Musgrave a ton of reps and giving him the ball and everything. What have you thought about the tight ends to this point? Have you really used them like you'd like to?
Yeah, I think there will be more opportunities. We finally have all the install in, or the majority of it, and so now it's just about fine-tuning. And certainly when guys haven't been as involved in a certain aspect, we'll do some things to try to get them a little bit more involved.
Matt, going back to that throw that Jordan had to Christian when Christian gets banged up, do you talk to Jordan about that? Like, is that something you would rather not see in a practice setting? Because
No, I think the practice, though, is a great time to test what you can do. Matter of fact, he made that same, very similar throw the other day in a period where he hit Christian in our all-out/bluff period that we had. He had Christian run right down the pipe with Quay in pursuit. So I think, I think sometimes you got to experiment out there and be a little bit more aggressive. Still trying to read within the timing of the play and making sure all the mechanics and all that are on par. But I do think there's opportunities there where you can be a little bit more aggressive with your decision making.